Hey, this is the man from nowhere. Hey, I've been gone for a little while, but man, I'm back like a bad case of crabs here. Hey, on all my videos I do, at the end of the video, I always end it with "Be safe and do your racing on the track." And there's a reason why that is. When I was younger, I did the same thing that a lot of young men do. Young men and women now more than when I was a kid. It's uh, young men and young women. They're all doing the same thing. They'll not all of them, but they'll hop up a streetcar, and then they'll get with their buddies and go drag racing down the street. And the street has a crown in it. It's not surfaced at all for any kind of drag races. The conditions are terrible. The cars aren't performance cars. They're not meant for drag racing. They're meant for highway use. As much as we'd like to think that a new Camaro off the factory is just a dang dragster, it's not. It's designed for highway speeds. They're quick. They run great, but they're not designed for drag racing. They don't have the safety equipment. There's no control over the race itself. It's not organized. There's the only glory in a street race is saying I whipped my buddy in his mom's minivan. That's that's not much to brag about. Even though I did the same thing when I was a kid. But as I get older, I realize that if you want to be a racer, and if you want to have some bragging rights, and you even get a trophy afterwards, you get a little paycheck afterwards, build a car and put it on the track. And it at this point, it don't matter to me whether it's a circle track, a drag strip, pure stock, hobby stock, IMCA modified, pro stock, or late model, or any kind of drag car. Build one and go drag racing or go racing with other racers that are actual racers with actual race cars. And then at the end of that, now you win that. Now you did something. Now you can brag to your buddies. I whipped old Gordy, old man from nowhere. I whipped his butt last weekend out on the track. Yeah, now you can say something. It's not a whole lot of bragging rights when you whipped your buddy in his mom's minivan with your hopped up four banger. Not a whole lot of bragging rights there. So, and the reason why I bring this on is I have a cousin who lost his boy in Klamath Falls, Oregon, 2 weekends ago now. Drag racing down the highway, wet conditions. It was a little cold out that night, about 2, 3 in the morning, and lost control and went through a telephone pole over a drag race, a pickup against a pickup. If you really want to race, guys, if you really want to do this, then build a car with all the bells and whistles, the hopped up motor, the safety equipment, fire suit, helmet, and race it in the right conditions against another guy who's got the same type of equipment that's an actual race car. Not somebody's Ford Ranger or something like that. I mean, a real bona fide race. That way you can say, I want to race. You win one on the street, you can say I beat my buddy, but there's no glory in that. So your buddy lays down a challenge to you. I'll race your car, and you're a man or you're a young woman. You gotta take that challenge, right? You gotta get out there on the street. You gotta go run ripping down the street and race that guy, right? You're taking your life, your buddy's life, and some poor innocent victim that's running down the highway, trying to get their kids to a dang soccer match or something like that. You're taking their lives in your hands too. Well, I'll lay down a challenge. You guys got to accept that challenge from your friend. How about accepting a challenge from me? I challenge you guys that are racing on the street right now. I challenge you to build a real race car. I don't care if it's a pure stock, a hobby stock, an IMCA modified. Come racing with us in the pro stock division, a drag car. Build a real car. Build an actual race car, and go out and get yourself in a real race in a real race track. and then tell me how you did. And I'd like to see you guys that do take this challenge. If you're any kind of man, if you're any kind of real woman that really wants to race, and you want to take this challenge, I challenge you to do it. And if you want to take that challenge, I would like to see your progression through and put it on my post there. Put it on my post on the Gordon Terry Russell post, or the Nevada Pro Stock Association post. And we'll get your name out there. If you really do it, we'll get your name out there. We'll try to find you some sponsors. We'll try to help you along. And I'd like to see your progression, but I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to get off the street. The streets are made for going to get groceries and going to school. Get off the street and get on a track. Get on a real track and do some real racing. And that's my challenge to all you street racers out there. And I'm not downing you, because I did the same thing. The chief of police in my town back in the 70s actually went to my grandparents. They owned a piece of property that had a quarter-mile horse track on it. And the chief of police said the same thing. You got to get these young guys off the street. They're going to kill each other. Got to get them off the street. So I had my grandfather build a racetrack out of that horse track, and that became Modoc Speedway. And that was one of the earliest racing in Modoc Speedway. It was in the early 70s. There was a racetrack before that, but it died out. And there, all the kids were, including my dad, on the street racing. So the chief of police came and had my grandfather build a racetrack, and it got all them kids off the street and in a real race, a real bona fide race. And that's what I'm challenging you guys to do there on the street right now racing. Anybody wants to take that challenge on, leave a comment on there. Leave a comment on this video, and there's a lot of guys just like me that would be dang willing to help you out any way we can. Try to help you get sponsors, any information we can get you, and get into a real race. And you get into a real race, you beat a guy like old Malin or Travis or Mr. Controversy Bartlett, or even my old butt. You beat one of us, then you did a real race. You actually really did something. Strap on an IMCA and go beat Corey Samples. You do that, you just did something. You didn't beat your buddy in his in his mom's soccer van. Come on, that's not even a race. That's not even real. So anybody that'll take that challenge on, leave a comment. And I'll bet there'll be a whole bunch of guys just like me who would love to help you out. So, hey, this is the man from nowhere. Be safe and do your racing on the track.